Okay, you guys, in this video, we're going to be making this cute monthly budget tracker. I'm going to show you exactly how to make this tracker so that you can create your own printables to sell or to have your own. So let's start by putting a header up. So to get a header, we need to go to text and we go to add a heading. On here, I really like the apricot text font, but of course you can play around with finding your own. To find this one or other handwriting ones, if you do search, you can go ahead, type in the word handwriting and a lot of cute like cursive fonts will show up. But okay, so what we're doing here is we're going to go ahead and add this cute border. So this will be your separator between the title and our actual tracker boxes and rows. And so I really like the dots. You can choose whichever one that you want. There are a whole bunch of different options that Canva offers, especially on its free service. So now I want to get my little boxes. So I did use it recently, but you can find it in the shapes section of the elements. And then we'll go ahead and change the color here. Now we want it to be a really, really light gray so that even if you write in pencil over it, that you'll still be able to see it. So I go ahead and we'll make it a lot lighter. And then when it comes to sizing, it takes a little bit of experimentation and you'll see. So we'll make it a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller here, but we'll just place our box here. And what I'll do is do Control-C, Control-V, which is a copy paste on your computer. If you got a PC, I don't know how Macs work, but on this one, I went ahead and made the box a little bit darker. It did make it a little bit easier to see. The one before was too bright or too light. And so I went ahead and did Control-C, Control-V, and to move all the boxes together, you just highlight and drag. So Canva makes it really easy to be able to make extra boxes and to drag everything compared to trying to do everything individually. So we'll go ahead and make another row here and let's highlight and we'll go ahead and do Control-C, Control-V, which is copy paste, make some more rows. And then what's nice is the more rows you make, the more you can bulk it up. And so go ahead and do an entire section here and copy paste. And we'll just fill up the whole page here. Makes it really easy. That's one thing I love about Canva is it's how quickly you're able to put some of these complex looking printables together to make it look really nice. But we'll go ahead here and make some columns. So with these columns, again, all I did here was copy paste one of my boxes, rotate it around. I'm gonna adjust the length of it just a little bit, but the purpose of these for this budget tracker is to organize our different budget categories. And you'll see that in just a little bit of how that's going to work, but I'm just gonna make a few sections here for our columns. We'll be adding all the titles and the text in later on, but we'll go ahead and adjust this one a little bit. I love everything to be as exact as possible. But as you'll see here, we're going to try to add in a row that's specifically for our subtotals. So I decided to make this one long row here. And so we've got to adjust some of these subtotals and you'll see how this will work later on in regard to how we total up the expenses and the budgeting and all those different numbers into this budget tracker. What I'm going ahead is we want to make a final section. The final section will be like our summary section, for example, and it will have our total budgets, total actual money spent, and differences. But we'll go ahead and make our last rows here. Needed to do a few adjustments on the boxes. But what's really nice, another thing I love about Canva is how you can drag and see those little purple lines, which make it so that you can know exactly if you're in line and everything's really nice and parallel and even with all your other boxes. So these long summary subtotal box areas, these long rectangles, we'll go ahead and make them the entire width of our budget tracker table. And so now we need to go in and add some text. So this part is really easy. We'll just go ahead and add some headings and we'll start with the expenses category. And so we'll go ahead and click and drag, put this into the box, make sure everything's nice and even, of course. And we'll go ahead and adjust a few different things for sizing and for spacing as well. Again, instead of going and taking all the steps to try to go from the text to creating the text. And anyway, Control C, Control V, copy paste makes it super easy. There's also a copy icon up at the top right that you can click on, but it makes it just really easy if you just use your keyboard shortcuts. But we'll go ahead and we'll have expenses, your budgeted amount, your actual money spent, and then the difference between what you actually budgeted and how much you actually spent. So now let's go ahead and put in some of our budget categories. Now, I'm specifically going to be putting in budget categories of utilities and housing, food and fun, and other. You can totally do whatever you want, whatever makes most sense for your budget. But for this one, I put these categories together, and we adjust the little sizing here, adjust the spacing a bit, and then we'll go ahead and just copy paste and put it into our other the other budgeting category area. And so we'll make this one is food and fun. So this will be your entertainment, your groceries, your eating out, and then we'll have the section other, so all your other expenses. All right, so now what we need to do is address the subtotal section. So this subtotal will be essentially the totals for each of those separate categories. So this just makes it really nice so that your budget tracker is a little bit more organized, easier to read, easier to look at how you've spent in different areas. So if you know that you spend a lot more in a certain area, you might make that specifically one category, if you would. So down here on this last area, you'll see that this will be our summary section. So with our summary, we want to see how much you spent, how much that you budgeted, how well you actually did with your budget tracker for the month. And so in this section, we'll go ahead and put in our summary, put in our total budget, we'll put in our total spent amount and our total difference amount. So quick copy pastes here gets us what we need with our text, aligning it all. And so we got to add in our actual words here. So we'll put our total spent amount there, and then our words was total difference. And I did notice after the fact I spelled difference wrong, but just go ahead and ignore that there. But let's go ahead and adjust the font, and here we go. So we've got this nice monthly budget tracker, but I figured I wanted to change the header to be, or the month to be more centered and to take up some space there. So it just needs a little bit of adjusting to make sure that it's in line there. Gotta adjust the font size, of course, but let's see. So what's nice is you can highlight everything and align it as you need, so everything looks really nice and aligned and symmetrical. But here we are. So this is our total budget tracker. But if you're going to be selling this or making this as a email printable, for example, you can put in your branding. So all I typically do is grab some text, put the website in there, and then make it a bit smaller. I like to make it a little bit more transparent and add that to the bottom there. And there we go. Really nice budget tracker here. If we go look in the full screen as well, we'll be able to see what it looks like in total. So here's our budget tracker. So here's something you can make in under 10 minutes. Go check out the other videos that I have on my YouTube to learn about how to make some more freebies and printables on Canva. Thanks for watching.